All right, guys. Welcome back to another stream. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. There is a cell over here in northeastern South Dakota, which has a bit of a hook on it. This has been kind of developing for the past, I want to say, half hour ish or longer, maybe a couple hours actually. No, definitely actually half hour about. This was bad. This is a radar scan from 5:03 p.m. So over a half hour ago. So yeah, over a half hour ago. This is Yo, what happened? I said from my stream or this this stream. I don't know. I say if it because I was gonna say if it's talk about the last stream, uh, activity died down real quick, and then it was it was quiet in terms of severe weather for like a couple hours, and then over past hour or so, a lot of this has been going on between both Minnesota and also South Dakota. The one over here in South Dakota has been latching onto this boundary right here, which it still is now. Let's see what Stormwater Media is looking at, which this is Stormwater Media's view right here. Um, it's obviously it's gonna be pretty dark. I think that with the little thing in the middle there, I think that might be Scud. All right, they have warned us now. All right, so we're back up to having a tornado warning. Radar indicator rotation right now. So nothing confirmed to be on the ground at this time. Uh, black and silver, black and silver version 2 Midland WR 100 is here. Nice. Definitely seems like we might have a tight couplet in there. Although looking at Stormwater Medias, there is something that is lowering in there, which would be that right there. I think we actually do have a tornado on the ground now. Yeah, that's definitely on the ground. It's not fully condensed. It's definitely making its way down though. This it's probably gonna go radar indicated, not radar indicated, but radar confirmed in a second here. Because this once again, this is what this the tornado looks like right now on this. Once again, this is over in not North Dakota, South Dakota. I don't think we're gonna have too much of a CC drop on this though. Also gotta make a black V0 Midland Midland WR300. So looking at their stream on YouTube as well. Yeah, that is a quite the well-defined funnel. Here is the if anyone wants to check out their stream as well, since I mean they're live on YouTube. That is their link to their stream there. All right, we have another tornado warning. It's also gonna be in Minnesota. It's gonna be for Grove City, Litchfield, Forest City, Manaha. So if you know those areas, make sure you get into your safe place. And now a tornado warning as well. Yeah, I said this is more than likely. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! This just went PDS went. We have a PDS tornado warning now. This is a PDS tornado. This is gonna be going towards the places such as North Shore and Watertown. So if you know those areas, make sure you're already, if you haven't already, get to your safe place now. The debris signature is starting to show up now as well. It looks like. This is just once again a quick view from Stormer Media Stream. This is what the tornado looks like. This is absolutely insane. Don't look like the don't know if that's just no no that is his stream full. I thought that might have been Radar Mega. That is insane. Look at the velocities too. You're a couple of be right in there, and also the debris signature. Oh, and looks like the stream went down. I don't know if that's just spotty internet out here with data, or the tornado hit a point where. Oh no, it's back. Okay, I am kind of curious. Let me just gate the gate. We got 62 over here. We got 53 over here. Definitely got quite the classic, I will say, cone type tornado. Like something you'd see in like your science like science textbook or something like that. Let me just close that out for a second. Oh, all I gotta say is we'll see what they end up writing it once they do storm damage survey, which this is kind of out in the middle of nowhere ish. I mean, you can kind of see. I mean, it's absolutely pitch black, but definitely a lot of grass out there. I don't know if it hit any trees or not. Definitely got quite the debris signature still though on this. And velocity and debris signature is definitely one of the more significant ones I've seen in a while at least. So this area over here that was tornado warned as well over here in Minnesota would be anywhere that has wouldn't be sorry is there something in terms of like an embedded supercell on here, but the more likelihood would be a QLCS tornado threat out of this line here with this MCS. Also, that tornado's still on the ground, by the way. With take a quick look if we can here. So it'd be right in there. Stream data is a little bit all over the place, but work what they got. Yeah, this would be going right towards estimated projected path of would be going towards Watertown. So if you're in Watertown, I would suggest staying weather-aware. I don't know if they have sirens going off in Watertown or not, and if they sound alert for people who live there as well. Also, I just saw someone, well, Ben Davison post something for Tuesday with Illinois, which it's the Nam mile, which the Nam, not that the Nam is a bad mile, but with what I'm looking at, I feel like the Nam is definitely overdoing some things. Looking at current velocities, doesn't seem to be at. I mean, current looking at high res velocities, I mean, it's one thing with that storm relative as another way to get an idea of the rotation on it. Well, gate to gate shear, which is the one side, like one area of winds going towards radar, one going away. Which it's like 53 ish there, and you got like about 91 there. Which definitely either way would be. I mean, if this did hit something other than obviously, this is like farmland out here, which that is definitely that I don't know if that's corner or not there, but yeah, this is what this looks like now. Look at debris signature. This is between I don't know what to call it, like Well, this one's 442nd Avenue, and this one's 170th Street here. All right, we have a second tornado warning in Minnesota now, which is another area that we have a concern when it comes to a QLCS tornado threat, which just includes Painesville, Eden Valley, Watkins, Kimball, Richmond, Cold Spring, or Cold Spring. I don't know why I accidentally added the S there. That's also going to be in Minnesota, so we now have 3 tornado warnings going on. One of them is still PDS warned as current. We have 2 severe dust warnings out there in this general region. One is warned for up to 70 a quarter, and one's warned for $60. The tornado warnings all have up to quarter size hail. That's still one thing. It's still an intense area of velocity there. Smaller couplet, but this is, I would say, almost kind of like a classic Supercell look to it. My V5 WR100 is lost tuner. Oh boy, that's not good. I don't know if that's I don't know. I was gonna say I can imagine you can buy tuners. I imagine it'd be hard to find though. Maybe I don't know. As of 10 minutes ago, yeah, they're still continuing that tornado warning, PDS tornado warning. There's a good likelihood that they do end up extending this tornado warning once this moves more towards this way here, towards the southeast. That's just also the interesting thing today as well. There was a brighter indicated PDS tornado warning earlier in Minnesota, but nothing produced out of it. And then we get another PDS tornado warning, but in this case, it did end up producing a tornado. Also, it does look like this tornado has lifted almost. No, never mind. Don't remember me just shift over to camera. Yeah, this thing's still on the ground. It's a lot skinnier than it was earlier. So got PDS tornado warning still gotta be going for around, well, the tornado warning in general is still going for another 19, but whether or not they do end up putting this to either observed or radar and cable, we'll have to watch and see, but this thing's still gonna be underground for a while. Also looks like there was a flash flood report a couple hours back over in Elmhurst in Illinois with flash flood report. So I'm kind of curious what there are a couple flood advisory out there. Uh, does this want to play the thing otherwise? All right, so this is. Oh wait, no, I saw a notification, but no, it was for the tornado warnings out here. One of the tornado warnings out here. I think it was this one. Yeah, it was this one right here. Still have radar indicated, nothing to be confirmed. Not really seeing too much on CC in terms of any tornadoes on this one. Definitely gonna be at least gusty with this line here. They issued a severe dust warning on top of the severe dust warning. I'm kind of curious, how fast is this moving? Anyways, moving northeast 30. Doesn't seem like it's moving that fast at 30. I was gonna say, version 5 WR 100s are that bad? What the? Oh, now let me play the playback on the convection over here in Illinois. There are a couple more showers and storms starting to pop up on that lake breeze from that lake breeze specific, and even just behind the lake breeze as well. Well, behind and in front of that lake breeze. So I got 16 minutes on this tornado warning. Still PDS warned. Continue to stay in your safe places. This would be going right towards Camp Seca. I would not be surprised if this thing does end up trying to produce another tornado, considering it's still on that outflow. Well, this outflow boundary right here. Well, that is a quite the far view on that tornado. And look at this skinny NATO. And it's still got area rotating right there. Is Connor actually closer to this thing, or yeah, I'm kind of curious. That tornado looks like it's starting to lift now. This thing definitely could recycle. Once again, as long as it's hooking onto that boundary, it's got to be able to produce continuously. Definitely seeing it once again. Well, not once again, but there's definitely got it's showing 80 mile per hour winds, but this is more than likely 80 mile per hour winds aloft. because this is looking up into the atmosphere compared to down at the surface. Wouldn't be surprised though if we had a couple instances where we did have 80 mile per hour wind gust, but whether or not that is going to be reported or not with wind reports, we'll see. Wouldn't be surprised if we at least had wind damage reports though. Let me check the because I don't know if because I know the 5% goes down far, but I don't know how well it goes up far, but I don't know how south it goes. It goes about from Virginia, Hawthorne, and this well Hawthorne in Wisconsin, but Virginia, Fairbanks, Silver Creek, and Minnesota, but includes the Duluth area. Also, of course, well, actually it doesn't include the Minneapolis area. Maybe some of the outer areas, but we did have a tornado over here in Appleton earlier. That was confirmed by law enforcement. I am kind of curious. Let me load up the meso analysis. Wait, what is it? Oh, tropical tidbits. It seems like with what I'm looking at on the meso analysis, the surface is a little bit more stable where this cell's at, but the mixed layer, I mean, not as much. All right, so looks like this tornado warning probably gonna be canceled out maybe soon here, or just be led to expire because they did end up issuing a severe thunderstorm warning on top of that PDS tornado warning for the tornado tag and limestone hail and 60 mile per hour winds. I mean, well, looks like these tornado warnings are being, I mean, they're being condensed, but still being, still being continued. Also, I'm looking at northern Minnesota. There is an area up here that has some pretty decent amount of shear up here. Also, where I'm looking at where we have the actually we no longer have the PDS tornado warning now. So we just have the tornado warnings now just over in Minnesota. Which one's gonna expire out with the next 8 minutes, one's gonna be expire out with well, after the 3 minutes it's gonna be expire out with the next 20 minutes. definitely gonna be watching it air near Camp Esca, I think. I don't know I think that might be how you say it. Uh, I say if, if anybody has the pronunciation actually, it might be I could probably look up the pronunciation. Camp Pesca. So this if this does end up producing another tornado, this would be really close to Watertown. We also have another severe thunderstorm warning ahead of this severe thunderstorm warning now, or at least, well, it's a new severe thunderstorm warning now. Also, there's definitely an outflow right here starting to shoot out from the south side of this MCS now. There's the severe thunderstorm warning here is gonna be, well, for a course I sail 60 mile per hour winds. I said there's that north side's eventually gonna merge with the rest of all this up here. Looks like they Storm Prediction Center is gonna issue another. Well, or actually no, not gonna issue another watch, but mesoscale discussion for parts of western and central Montana. Most probable quarter to golf ball plus hail, gust 55 to 70. Uh, Connor said there's a tornado on the ground apparently. I mean, where is? I thought I had the kind of cross stream up for a second. think that might have been Radar Omega that had it up. Yeah, it was Radar Omega that had kind of cross stream up on. So looks like they're. I mean, the rotation would be right over near Camp Seca, Camp Esca. Yeah, I do wonder because I know the Dow. I don't know how many Dows were out here driving around, but or if anyone's driving around with a Dow here, but I do wonder if any Dows got the velocities for that tornado. I doubt it, but would be interesting. Apparently, Radar Omega is really behind or some. No, no wait, it's not. Okay. So I was looking at weather-wise. I'm like, oh wait, was there still a tornado warning? And it just disappears. It's just Radar Omega just making the warning disappear for no reason or what? But no, it did expire. What is this ad? I'm just looking at Twitter on my phone and I just see some garbage. The world's most garbage ad I've ever seen. If I was also checking Discord too while I'm at. Also, they did from I mean, if you could, I don't know how much you could tell from the thumbnail, but they did end up extending that the enhanced like south or something like that, which I was not expecting to be honest. But then again, I know the sure and all that was increasing, but I don't know, wasn't expecting too much. Pretty sure that enhanced as well is still wind driven as well. Yeah, still wind driven enhanced. Bro, I feel like I just read something a minion typed. And drink some water while I'm at it, because that will probably help. And it's itching. I saw Trail Pass tag. We still got the tornado warning still ongoing over in Minnesota. That's still be going for another 11 minutes. Which that still covers areas of Kimball. And I don't know if there's any houses or anything in this area, but anywhere between these roads here and in and around Kimball, Watkins is not in that tornado warning. All right, new mesoscale discussion from the Storm Prediction Center. Check that out on a second here. Let me just go over to that. Which severe threat will be posting early this evening. Wind damage and hail will be primary threats. Obviously, very low tornado threat, but I mean, with what you can see in this area, you can see all the ingredients there coming together. Maybe a brief tornado, but honestly, I would say we're not really gonna see too much of a tornado threat compared up here, and especially with the cell that we're looking at right now. But yeah, mainly wind and hail. Severe potential watch possible 40%. So there's a likelihood that we don't see a watch at all there. I'm kind of curious. I don't know how far back Equitops are, but Equitops are about 16 minutes behind. But just to give a relative idea, that is what the Equitops look like. It has a weird like. I'm guessing because this is because of range filter right here, but almost like 70,000 feet when it comes to this supercell. This is a tall boy. Also, apparently Mike Murs was right near that tornado. Oh my god, yeah. Yep, he was. I just saw a video. I saw a image that was him far away from it. And yeah, he was right near it. He was literally right near it. That is insane. And of course, you got the crypto bots spamming their garbage. Like literally, they say some random message and they tag some random like crypto scam account. Also apparently from this is the it's basically a tool that kind of takes a bunch of different things with things like inbound velocity, outbound velocity, rotational velocity, average of the above, and debris. And and the estimation from that tool is about EF2. There might be an area near Folly that could be trying to do something, but not 100% confirmed. Confirmed to be confirmed. Confirmed. Well, it's not 100% confirmed, but not 100% sold that that is rotation, considering you have lighter rain there, and then you just got this heavier area rain there. But the rotation looks to be right in there, so something to watch for. There's also some showers now pop up on the southwest, not southwest. That's southwest? No, it is southwest of this boundary now. All right, so we no longer have a tornado warning that has been expired out at this point. Still gonna be keeping it, especially keep an eye on this cell here. Could produce another tornado. So I don't know if day 2 or 3 has been changed around any. 'Cause I think from the last stream I did earlier, it's still a slight risk from Montana all the way to Minnesota and Wisconsin, and that still seems to be the case. And this doesn't want to load. All right, there we go. Now it has loaded. And yeah, still got 2% in the same area. Wouldn't be surprised if he had maybe a 5% in there somewhere, but that'll be something to see with later outlooks. Because this would be for tomorrow, which is Monday. Monday already. And then this, if this loads, this would be for Tuesday, which there is a marginal risk going from all the way from Montana into Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, portion of Colorado, basically the entirety of Nebraska, the entirety of Iowa, southern side of Minnesota, northern side of Missouri, uh, basically a portion of central and northern Illinois, and then this south portion of Wisconsin. Which, I mean, day 3 we don't have anything for the specifics when it comes to tornado, wind, or hail threat, but I would not be surprised if all threats are on the table. Especially when it comes to a wind threat, since most time when it comes to summer events, you're gonna have a mainly wind-driven type events. Not, I mean, not that you couldn't get tornado outbreaks or something, but most of your events are gonna be wind type events. Which even today is a enhanced wind driven enhanced. I mean it's not a hatched 30, but it is still a 30% enhanced driven wind threat enhanced. I feel like I kind of jumbled up my words there with putting how I put those in line, but yeah. Back up my microphone because I don't know what it is with this microphone. I don't know if it's because I've literally spiked my audio so many times or what. Or it's because the way how directional this microphone is, or what? Also, another thing I've noticed this year too, the Dakotas have definitely, at least when it comes to the summertime events, the coasts this year have been quite the tornado events, states this year for the summer months because it was the last month of the ratio that we had in North Dakota to Minnesota, and before that line of storms came on in, we had multiple significant tornadoes. All right, so far we haven't had too much of anything when it comes to a at least noticeable area of rotation so far. Which it does look like if anything were to recycle, because this side over here looks like it's trying to merge with the rest of all this. I wouldn't be sorry if it's trying to recycle out over here, and we have a tornado warning again out over here in Minnesota again. Which this is more than likely hooking onto this outflow with that shot of the south side here, which our hook would be right in there. This tornado warning, however, covers Annandale, Maple Lake, Buffalo, Rockford, St. Michael, Monticello, and Silver Creek in Minnesota. So if you're in this area, make sure you're getting to a safe place as you're now in a tornado warning at this time. And we have another tornado warning now, which is back over in South Dakota for Watertown, Kranzberg. Hello, welcome to the stream. I have thunderstorm on Thursday. I was gonna say Ray is definitely gotta be a relief for sure with summertime temperatures, that's for sure. The rotation would be right over Watertown as well as realized, which is an area that But Watertown wasn't a previous tornado warning, but now it's in another tornado warning. Would not be surprised. I mean, that is tight couple it, but I was surprised if something does end up trying to produce there. There's tropical depression near Hawaii. Oh yeah, tropical depression 1C all the way out here, which is one thing because I was looking at earlier, which for a tropical depression, this looks pretty healthy for development. Wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a tropical storm within the next couple hours or so. Haven't seen other than a couple instances, we haven't seen too much activity from the Atlantic yet. High chance of gill forming. I mean, at with the rate that is going, although that is near Hawaii, and I think once it gets to like the central North Pacific, I think it switches over to like a different type of name. I think because on the central North Pacific name list, it has Coney or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. When it comes to what name they're gonna be going for with that. Which they have the tropical depression 1C under central North Pacific, so it is gonna be going underneath the one of the central North Pacific names, which the first one being a Coney. I have no idea. There's disturbance near Mexico and Hawaii. All right, talk about this one. I was gonna say this one has a 70% with the next 7 days and 10% with the next 2 days. And then this one's a 40/40. Either way, it's pretty active within the Atlantic so far. Wait, did I say Atlantic or Pacific? First name of Hawaiian hurricane season. The first one is a Coney. Second one being Emma. Third one being Hone. Four being Iona. Let me actually bring up the list on here real quick. So if we go over to this, so here's the Central North Pacific name right here. Names right here. So the first one being a Coney, and then here's the Eastern North, the one that you mentioned with being Gill without one disturbance. Over in the Eastern Pacific. But you still yet to have Dexter in the Atlantic. Interesting that we've gone through these. Wait, I'm looking at Eastern Pacific. Interesting we've gone through these three already in Atlantic. So we got this tornado warning still going on over in Minnesota. Still wet. Still watching to see how much it does end up hooking with that outflow that's right here. Also looking at the velocities on this one. Do a quick checkup on this. Watertown, they air rotation near Watertown seems to be, I mean, strong but broad type situation there. Also, one thing I did with my green screen, uh, so with my green screen, I have I have like two different clamps holding it to the ceiling. Because if I point my webcam up a bit here, so you got that. You got this like the ceiling with a bunch of LEDs at the top, and that is and that is. Oh, let me readjust my camera there. And that is where the green screen is being clamped to, basically. Not sure if Gil is a boy or girl name. I'm not sure either, to be honest. 'Cause that's I don't think that's a name I've ever seen. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning all the way down in very southeastern Iowa. That's where 60-mile-per-hour winds. I was not expecting that. There's also more showers and storms popping up over here as well, which are your brief but weaker storms. Other than that one that is well, they're all kind of your brief and more weaker storms on here because you don't have the oomph like you do up here. Apparently, Gil is either or type of deal where it could be a girl or boy name. Interesting. The more you know, I guess. It's also Greek and Hebrew derivation. I definitely butchered that word, but so it's a Greek and Hebrew type of origin name. Interesting. Man, learning more about names that I've never seen today. I'm gonna be right back. Be right back, like real quick. Even when this thing moves around a bunch, my green screen moves around a bunch. All right, still got a tornado warning. Kept going for a half hour. Severe Dorson watch goes for another 5 hours. That is contamination. I am kind of curious. Let me go back a little bit here. Because your air rotation would be initially near Annandale. If we do have any rotation left, would be right in there. Embedded in that rain. Still got broad area rotation. Still strong but broad area rotation. Haven't seen any tornadoes produce for a while. This is also now up to golf ball size hail with the supercell now. Take a look at the which Ecotops are still gonna be behind, but we could once again still look at how tall this is and still showing Ecotops are way up there. I mean, look at this. This is the supercell, and if we look at everything else, which I mean, everything else is gonna be far out with radar, but the general area of storms here. I mean, the storms here on this cell, well, line of storms here, got area there. It seems pretty tall, but either way, this discrete cell is the tallest, pretty much the tallest in terms of the echo tops of all of them. Also, with the Climate Prediction Center, with the temperature outlook, they are. I just bumped my boom arm. But they are forecasting below average temperatures for the week after, well, next week, basically. Basically, gonna be that 1 week in September where we have like colder temperatures, and then it goes back up to being warm again. But we're still a couple minutes behind on scans, but still got a general idea what the area of rotation looks like. I just updated again, which rotation be still in there, still broad, but strong area rotation. Wouldn't be surprised if this does end up getting extension, potentially, for a tornado warning. And then we still got the tornado warning out here in Minnesota that I am monitoring as well. Which I have that one up over here on what it was which not really seeing much in terms of. I mean, velocities are still pretty gusty, but not really seeing too much in terms of rotation at this point. You can see as well. Go back a little bit. Where this is kind of splitting up into like different areas of convection. This is almost like its own supercell. We have another severe dust warning, core size hail, 60 mile per hour winds there. So looking at the radar over in Sioux Falls, they put a severe dust warning over top of this for line size hail, which is 2 inches diameter, and 7 mile per hour winds, with also for pause tag as well. But you could also see the rotation from the Sioux Falls radar, which would be right in there. Although Aberdeen's radar is still close enough that we can at least still see before we switch. There is, I mean, other than Sioux Falls being down here, there is a radar hole in this area, especially this specific area, which I wish there was a radar in because it is difficult to spot anything. And even up here too, I wish there was a radar somewhere in here as well, which is another difficult spot to see anything. See, I'm gonna check weather nerds while I'm at it. 'Cause I don't know if the ensembles have I don't know if the ensembles have updated or not. I don't think they have yet. No, they have not. They have fully loaded in though. And Euro is still kind of split up from earlier in the day. Like, let me go over to let me show you guys weather nerds real quick. All right, so this is 00Z, which I was showing earlier. If we zoom in a little bit here, which this is what it showed earlier. And if we go over to 060, a little bit more. Actually, was it the 812Z I was looking at? Which one is it? No, it must have been a 12Z. Yeah, it was 12Z, which we go 156 hours. They're a little bit more uh like spread out compared to 00Z. Which let me zoom in and look real quick. Which if you kind of look at each of these as well, which you get each of the ensembles, which they're not really showing anything strong if anything were to form. But if anything would form out of any of those, uh, like anything does form with that area, it'd likely be tropical depression. It looks like the outflow has, I mean, other than this area right here, does look like the outflow has outrun the storms are here, which once you have an outflow that outruns the main convection, the outflow essentially makes all this area here more stable. And when you have stable air, storms don't really like stable air. They like storms like I mean, not completely create that completely roller coaster environment, but we do have 4 minutes on this tornado warning out here in Minnesota. I'll probably be led to expire out. The one we are gonna be paying attention to though is this one here. Although this has so far produced, I mean, it's produced one tornado so far, but it hasn't produced anything else after that. There's also still the severe Darshan watch over in. Let me show you guys because there's still this severe Darshan watch up here. If we do see anything here in this portion of Minnesota, it probably won't be for a while. Which I mean, there's these storms here, but not a whole lot in terms of anything in this section here so far. A lot of it has been down here so far with storms. So I got about a minute on that tornado warning out in Minnesota. That's what's going to be led to expire out. So we'll see that. I mean, it's gonna be gone soon, which is gonna be exactly a minute. But don't know how much will a tornado threat we'll see after that. Once once that expires out. Other than maybe it's still once again it's still hooking onto some type of inflow, but doesn't seem like it's hooking onto much at this point. It would have to hook onto this right here, or that like going like through here. But it does seem to be pretty north of that. And we no longer have any tornado warning over in Minnesota now. Just the one over in South Dakota. All right, and it does look like we are starting to see some range folding issues with this. But we do still have rotation right in there. There's likelihood we do see an extension on this soon. Whether or not they do end up issuing that, we'll have to watch and see. I am noticing something with the outflow here. It seemed like there was either a second outflow that was shot out from over here, or this outflow got pushed out. I'm drawing the world's worst arrow, so it got pushed out like that. And we are officially in an area where, actually, how well does Sioux Falls radar see this? Because your air rotation would still be in there. There's also now a Toro Pasta on a spear dust running right here. I'm trying to see with weather-wise, well, satellite and weather-wise. There's Ghost East and Ghost West, but neither of those can see the area where we have the tropical depression. Looks like Reducio is well under another flash flood warning. I am kind of curious. Has there been any updates to that tropical depression at all? Next complete advisory at 5 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. I don't know how many hours behind that is. So that'd be 10 p.m. Central Time. All right. We also let me check weather-wise before I say we are completely clear of tornado warnings. We are indeed clear of tornado warnings for now, of course, because could see one get issued within any time at any point. Because I've like, oh hey, we're no longer need the tornado warning, and then maybe like 15 minutes later, one gets issued. Like one of those moments when you say something too soon or too early. Too soon? Is it too soon or too early? I don't know. Legs. Oh. I am trying to see where the area rotation would be on this one here. Which, if there was rotation, it seems like, other than the one near Kransberg, which is clearly right there. But if they do have rotation on this one here, it'd probably be somewhere near Marietta and Madison. Also, watching near Hazel as well. See if that ends up being an area we need to watch for a recycle of a hook. How big was that tornado? The tornado from earlier. Yes, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure how big it was specific, but seemed like it was. Uh, I mean, it seemed like it was. I mean, big. I would guess at least a couple 100 feet at least. And that's just based off image and videos. We also have a new mesoscale discussion, and is severe threat expected to develop eastward, southward across southern Minnesota over the next few hours. Main threats being wind and hail. There's also still going to be a tornado threat alongside. Also, I just realized. Let me turn off the tornado warning graphic because I forgot that I need to turn that off. We're back to just having the severe dorsal warning. I just move my microphone. Watch it once again. Still watching this specific area here because that seems like it's trying to develop another hook there. Outflow seems to be still kind of ahead of it still. Wouldn't be surprised if it is starting to head right into there though, or at least wouldn't say forcing, but kind of streamlining into there. They also did uh update the Cerritos warning. This is now for core size hail and 6 mile per hour winds instead of the golf ball and 70. They got a couple of special wear statements out there for 50 mile. No, wait, that one's for 40 in nickel. This one is also for 40 in nickel size sail as well. Yeah, for the meso analysis, how much did meso analysis change, if anything at all? There's definitely, but looking at the 500 millibar level, there's still upper level support and with the cell right here. Also, I didn't realize there's well, I hop over every time, but there's a 925 millibar analysis, which is even closer to the surface, which is about like 23 knots, like almost at right at the surface. But I usually look at the 850. And there's still, I mean, there's still quite a bit of shear still, both with bulk shear and the upper air. There's also still high enough helicity numbers. It is a little bit more stable over here, of course, because it's been raining over here, so it's got to be making the atmosphere more stable. But lapse rates are also starting to drop as well. Although with the mid level, it's still up there though. So I say sometimes I'll look at the VTP, which is a parameter which puts all the ingredients together. That VTP keeps going higher and higher each time. Once again, that is all the ingredients put together. If you have something that limits that storm, then it's not gonna. Honestly, that parameter doesn't mean anything. So watching this area right here, wouldn't be surprised if this tries to produce again. Well, speaking of tornado warning, there is a tornado warning now over in Nebraska, which is actually confirmed and is also confirmed as well. And this is out in the middle of absolute nowhere as well. I can't imagine any storm chasers down here. Or if there is, I don't even know if they're even streaming. Got some more severe dust warnings out here in this portion of South Dakota as well. There's also a severe dust warning on top of this tornado warning too. I'm watching this area over here, which still got inflow in there. It's a matter of whether or not that does end up producing or not. And sounds like Garrett is being surrounded by mosquitoes, which Garrett is one of the storm chasers for Storm Runner Media. Well, the owner of Storm Runner Media is specific. They did end up issuing a tornado warning now for over here in North Dakota now. Not North, South Dakota. It's going to be for Thomas, Cones Corner, Castlewood, and Appleby. And once again, that's be in South Dakota. Your air rotation would be right in there, and your inflow would be right in there. So it's definitely interesting contrast between both the Sioux Falls radar and then also Aberdeen. Be right in there. Although that is the clear area, so maybe not. I do want to check up on tropical tidbits. Actually, I have it up on another thing. I want to check the satellite. There is Central Atlantic. No, Eastern Atlantic. Yeah, there we go. So there's still that plume of convection over on the western side of Africa. The one that I've been kind of looking. I don't know how many of you saw the community uh, community post from earlier with that convection. I talked about that I'm watching for alongside actually quite a few people actually. Um, will be interesting to see what that does. It's probably gonna be running into wind shear and also dust as well. So it's gonna be struggling to produce, at least organize into anything. How far behind is reflectivity? Not that far behind. Actually, yeah. This is just updated just a minute ago or so. Still got storms and showers still popping up on the backside of this. I would not be surprised if all this is how far the this cell, well, this convection, and then all the cloud tops going out towards there. I haven't seen too much of anything in up here yet, so apparently, guessing it's like one of those parking sensors or something, or backup sensors, and it's beeping at Garrett. I swear, that's the one thing about sensors with cars is it beeps over the most random things. Like you could have dust and I'll beep over that. They issued another severe dust warning on top of the tornado warning. The speed for half dollar size hail, 6 mile per hour winds. Still got a tornado warning still going on down here in Nebraska. Fire department rescue. So there's a report from the fire department. It looks like they're with the tornado warning on this. Still, I got observed tag on this tornado warning. Still, definitely got it. If we do have a tornado on this, could be a low precip area of convection. That tornado warning is probably be going for a while as well because it's kind of it's kind of an area where there's not a lot of population. It is north of Contera though, which I'm guessing is a little small town. I'm guessing because you also got Kennedy over here. I mean, you got a couple of smaller towns out here, but nothing in terms of a large populated area. Some spider running across. Look at observe tag. There's a chance this is not a god at this point on this one. But once again, it could be a case where we have like a weaker tornado, but it's just not super noticeable in terms of anything on velocities or anything. But even looking at velocities and even the high res spectrum width, not really seeing on that either. So watching the area up here in not North. I keep saying North Dakota, but South Dakota. All right, and that tornado warning out over in Nebraska is down to radar indicated. That tornado warning is still continuing for another 9 minutes. Look at still two tornado, not two tornado, well, two tornado warnings still going, but both of them are still mainly just rotation at this point. I would not be surprised if this is all starting to go linear though, just based on how this is oriented. And this is the cell that was discrete is now is merging with the rest of this. That's some windy conditions and also hail going into the Minneapolis area now, which is organized a little bit more than I was expecting. There's also a discrete cell too, so if this ever caught up to this outflow, we would have a tornado threat out of that. Hearing a lot of dings from weather-wise, which I think they're updating the watches and stuff. Still have not seen a single other than a couple storms, but don't think any of those were severe. I don't know if we had any other severe storms up here though. Let me go back 12 hours real quick. I think there was at least some morning storms that were severe in Minnesota, but I don't think there was anything other than that. Yeah. Yeah, it was basically morning hour storms. The- I thought there was a fly on my screen, but no. There's no fly on my screen. Because there was a fly in my room yesterday that was flying around. I finally got it with my water bottle. I'm like, finally, I got you. Sound like Batman there. Jesus Christ. Joker. Don't do that, Joker. Also, with the video that I recorded earlier this morning, I don't know when I'm going to upload that. Still for trying to figure out when I'm uploading that. Might be Tuesday, depending on how tomorrow goes. Actually, I could just just upload Tuesday. I don't know. I'll I'll be released when it's released, I guess. Yeah, I would not be surprised if I guess they're probably just gonna let that expire out, but I wouldn't be surprised if this cancel out earlier. Actually, let me check weather-wise. No, yeah, that's gotta be going till it expires. Yeah, quite the line storms up in Canada too. Look at all that, which I still don't like their glossy, their smooth color table. Like I know, because I don't think Canada uses the same radars as us, but I know their radars not exactly as powerful as ours when it comes to how they do like data type stuff. But still, also they did update the severe dust warning on this one here. I think it just got condensed a bit. That's about it. It's like be going for an hour. Well, that's going for an hour. Or no, that is they no that this did just get updated. It's now going for an hour. Still gonna be warned for core size hail, 6 mile per hour winds as well. I'm seriously keeping my eye on this, especially with this outflow over here. Because I mean, we've seen what happened with the other cell over here. That this ball used to be big old supercell over here. Still seems like we have, like, at this point, broad rotation. Definitely gotten weak over time. Still got a couple discrete areas, discrete cells to be specific, but alright, we no longer have the tornado warning down over in Nebraska. There is a, area of consistent severe storms down here in Florida. Still got another couple hours before we see any updates on this, on Tropical Depression 1C. Be right back real quick. Alright, I am back. Looking at some of our media streaming, yeah, there's, I saw earlier. Yeah, it's not really any type of lowering that I could consistently see. Still seems like there's something near Castlewood, but Seems like if there is anything trying to rotate in that area, it's broad at this point. Also, they did release the new. They did release the new Outlook, and they did. I mean, I don't think they shifted the, or is a slight bend there? I think it's a slight bend there in Wisconsin. I think. Let me see. I have to scroll. Yeah, the slight bend in there in Wisconsin. The rest of the Minnesota here is in a marginal at this point, so there's a chance that we see a cancellation on us soon here. I'm kind of curious what they did change, if anything. Yeah, definitely not as big of 5% area. They did keep the 15 and they did keep the 30 as well for a win. Let's see if it's actually updated. It did. Okay, yeah, they did update it. Although if you click, yeah, so there's your new 5% risk area for tornadoes. Not really that big of a 5% anymore up here. A lot of that is now a wind risk, I think, at this point. If this is actually did update properly, I don't think this has. It has not updated fully yet, but that area is a 5%. So at this point, it's yeah, most of the risk is inside that enhanced now, which would be right in here, where most of the threats gotta be. There's now a new sphere dust warning for golf balls to sail, 60 mile per hour winds as well. There's also this one up here that popped up too for quarter and 60. Also another thing too, we don't have a tornado warning in place at this point now. So back to having no tornado warnings ongoing. I don't know why that's lagging so much as I was tapping, typing. Just retweeting a bunch of things on Twitter. Yeah, the atmosphere is definitely becoming a lot more stable from what I was seeing on the meso analysis. Although there's still, I mean, there's still plenty of a shear, but seems like the severe threat. I mean, we could have a period where we could have a ramp up again in terms of tornado threat, but because the rotation should be still right over near Castlewood, but it seems like it's more outflowy compared to inflow at this point. Also, I saw a post from Storm Chaser and it went away. God dang it! But there was a farmhouse that was hit by the tornado from earlier over in this area here. There's also people parking over overpasses in Minnesota. Guys, do not park underneath overpasses. You're just causing more issues to everyone else. I'm looking at a couple cameras over in Minnesota right now, and yeah, that is quite the backup right now. I mean, really, it is quite the backup. Like, let me get up a camera, one of the cameras. There we go. Wait, I don't know what's going on there. I did not want to do that. Dang it. I broke it. Yeah, here's the one of the traffic cameras. And you can see all the traffic back in there. All the way back in there. Let me just zoom this up. They're literally parked underneath the overpass. There's a big old dollop of rain in there. Wonder if let me where is it? There we go. So here's another view of that. So you can see all the traffic on there as well. Absolutely just I mean, I know it's rain, so there's gonna be backup, so like still that is quite the traffic jam in there. Yeah, not really seeing too much in terms of rotation at this point on this one here. I mean, it still has 12 pause tag, but not seeing a whole lot. Still, if we did have anything still left in there, still would be between over near Castlewood at this point still, but just really saying conditions remain favorable for development landspout tornadoes. So the tornado warning that we saw earlier was for a landspout. House fire caused by a lightning strike. We do actually have a couple of hail ports over here. I got half dollar, quarter, golf ball, another golf ball. Actually got a 6 mile per hour wind report here. Wouldn't be surprised if he had maybe a couple flash flood reports, but we'll see. Because from what I'm seeing on traffic cam at the bottom, well, right over, yeah, right over here, I can point to. I don't even think I pointed the right direction on my OBS. That direction right there on the stream. I mean, this is still, I mean, a severe weather outbreak. Definitely was not. I mean, I wouldn't say definitely the scale that it could have been, but I mean, there's still, I mean, definitely at least few wind and hail reports out there that we saw from this event, and also did see a couple tornadoes out of today as well. Another spirit rush warning. It's war for ping pong size hail and also 60-mile-per-hour winds as well. Still got a long outflow right here. I'm kind of curious what thermal radar sees as well. Somewhat similar to the regular radar too. I mean, it's right there, so. But the velocities are probably a little bit more, but at least because, I mean, thermal radars would be looking at the lower level typically. Which, looking at the lower levels, yeah, definitely got some gusty winds going just to the southeast and also, of course, within the storm itself. That is the nice thing I will say about thermal radars is they can see things that sometimes regular radars won't. And that's, well, I mean, once again, mainly because thermal radars are going to see things well at the lower levels compared to your typical radar. Not that, obviously, your main radars aren't going to see it well. Which I don't know, because I remember a year ago, because July 15th, the last year there's ratio, I don't think I used these thermal radars. Which I feel like I probably should have, because these are useful for lower level stuff, especially when it comes to lines of storms. Also, that camera, uh, there we go. Now it's unpaused. I don't know how long that was paused for. kind of decrease the size of that. Because you guys can probably still maybe see that. Let me know in the chat if you guys can still kind of see that well. Because OBS has got to show things a little bit. What is going on there? Oh, there's it. They're controlling the traffic camera. Looks like I don't think I've ever seen that before with some traffic cameras. I've seen it with has cams before, but not traffic cameras. Looks like someone stalled out on the side of the road. If they indeed are stalled on the side of the road. Like some CSI type stuff. Enhance, enhance, enhance. Wow, that's gonna be going for a while with this severe dust warning. An hour. Yeah, there. That's one traffic camera there. Let me switch to a different traffic camera here. We also do have a new tornado warning. I'll check where that's in a second. I have a feeling it's probably gonna be South Dakota. It's the same traffic camera I was just on. About this one. There we go. All right, so we're back up to having a tornado warning again, and that is indeed over in South Dakota. I see for Castlewood, Dempster, Esteline, Johnsonville. So if you're in those areas, make sure you're getting a safe place as you're now in a tornado warning at this time. Once again, this is a tornado warning in South Dakota. I do wonder if they did warn contamination, though. I mean, if we do have rotation, it would be looking like that, but this also got Stonebridge and Allsville included within this tornado warning as well. I wonder if any of the models have come in with new runs. I do want to check the HRRR as well. which the HRRR, which I don't know how consistent the HRRR. I mean, feels like the HRRR has been too consistent, but the HRRR. Let me get that. Let me just get the HRRR up real quick. So here's the HRRR, and this is 00C, so it's gonna be not really showing too much. I mean, this is kind of what it looks like now, but so we go through into tonight into tomorrow This is tomorrow morning. Then we go through today, and look, in the HRRR has severe weather starting early in the morning. It looks like with this cluster of storms here. Wouldn't be surprised if we had a wind and hail threat out of this, maybe a couple of tornadoes. And then it continues, and then we go through the evening hours, afternoon to evening hours, and it starts firing up some storms in South Dakota again, and then as it goes into Minnesota, it started bowing out, and it started really bowing out as it gets towards the Twin Cities area, and even Iowa too, and then it starts dying out. It starts to get to like Wisconsin and Illinois. Which I would not be surprised if this did end up becoming a case for tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we had a upgrade to the wind threat for tomorrow. And if we did see something like this tomorrow, we could have a potentially a case where we have a MCS or derecho type situation. Which I do want to take a look at the NAM nest, which even in NAM is sometimes kind of iffy too. Which even the NAM is not really showing the same thing the HRRR is showing. Which, I mean, it kind of shows somewhat the same thing with it going into Iowa on 18Z. Wonder what the NAM is, because the NAM is probably going to show the same as a NAM 3K. Yeah, kind of. Let me look at the Euro, which the Euro sometimes is a good idea when it comes to the convection, which either way, a lot of the model runs, this is 12Z, so this is way back, but most of the model runs seem like they have a grasp on something going into North and South Dakota again, and Minnesota. Where is my charger? I think I must have left my charger upstairs. I'll be right back, real quick. I'm gonna keep this on dual view. This the area that they trial warned. I mean, it looks like alpha and contamination. Got my charger. Where's my All right. I am seeing something on Stormer Media Streaming. You can see that up there. I'm pretty sure that's just Scud, though. And then, yeah, that's a Scud. And that's the wall cloud back over there, if that is a lowering. They also did issue another severe dose warning on top of the severe dose warning. This will be for core size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. And they did end up issuing a flash flood warning over here near Minneapolis. Or at least the east side of Minneapolis. Downtown areas, except for St. Paul. Minneapolis, the main downtown area of Minneapolis is not included with it, but the downtown area of St. Paul is. Like about a half hour till this 20 warning expires out. There is a chance they do end up canceling it, but I don't think they are. Get some water. Ah, I'm kind of curious. Let me. Where's the traffic camera? 'Cause I think because this is or near St. Paul. I am kind of curious where the flooding is at. So let me try to find. I think there's this camera here that has a. I think that roads. Some roads I'm finding are just wet compared to flooded. That camera's not working. This camera's working. That is a interesting. I mean, it's a bus lane, but I don't think I've ever seen that where I live. That's kind of interesting. And here's this camera here, which is kind of pixelated, but and this is over in the St. Paul area of the Twin Cities. The Pennsylvania weather is trending. What is that? Oh, that's why shelf cloud. Maybe. Honestly, just because it's just a topic that's related to what I look at. I don't know. If you got any updates from the Storm Prediction Center on Twitter, I don't think I've seen too much in terms of anything much other than one from an hour ago, over an hour ago at this point, and then also the update to the severe weather outlook. Looks like so. They're still continuing that tornado warning in South Dakota, although there's it's definitely contamination haven there. I still have this granola bar that's right by me. Open, maybe. Oh, water went down the wrong tube. Oh, I need to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back, everybody. All right, I'm back. Still got Storm Chasers live. Still got about 20 minutes on a tornado warning. Still, I mean, they're still gonna be going for a while. Looks like. I mean, they haven't. I mean, they're probably not gonna end up canceling unless they do. But it's raining absolutely heavy on Storm Run Media Stream.
So
Yeah, it's quite loud. Definitely got a interesting little area near Cedar Lake here. That looks like it was having a hook earlier, but I'm not really expecting too much of anything out of that because the outflow is down here. Yeah, other than that, still one tornado warning still going on. After this, I don't know how much of tornado there we'll have left. Let me take a look at the meso analysis if I can find where I put that. Surprisingly, the VTP parameters are really high considering it's linear at this point. But like I said earlier, it's all depending on the what the every parameter put together is basically, and it's still a lot of instability, even in the mix there too. Not a lot of spin in terms of surface vorticity. Still got storm relative helicity effective still like 300 near nearing the area that has 300 in. So bulk shear is still up there. Bulk shear surface to 6 kilometer is not super great. Surface 1 kilometer is usually the spot for tornadoes, anyways. What we're gonna be looking at. Either way, something to still monitor and watch. Although I still think our tornado threat is way lower than what it was earlier. Still got another 14 minutes on the tornado warning. Check Discord again. What is this? Now my arm's itching. I still got another 13 minutes. The likelihood that they don't end up continuing that tornado warning, and I mean, once again, they still haven't canceled out, so they're probably just letting it expire out. Long day, yeah, that's for sure. Although at the same time, it feels like it's been a short day too, so I don't know. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least hail and some gusty winds here, but the tornado threat's definitely gone down a bit, especially with it going with having a linear mode of storms at this point. Also, looks like they are. Oh, wait, what? That was a weird. Are they? I don't. Oh wait, no, wait. Are they updating this Stevie Dorsham watch or no? Wait, what was updated? Because I saw it change on weatherwise, but I don't know what changed. Also, we no longer have a tornado warning now in South Dakota. They did end up canceling it out. And we're back to having severe thunderstorm warnings. Well, two of them are in South Dakota, one of them in Minnesota. Two of them are for this one's actually for up to ping pong and 60 mile per hour winds. This is more for a quarter at 60, and this one's for mainly quarter size hail. I don't know if we have anything else for severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere else. There's actually one over here in Montana. One for it's for quarter size hail, 60 mile per hour winds. Got a little bit of gusty winds right in there. It looks like according to radar. That's just south of Judith Gap. I don't know why I thought this was down. My headset microphone. I said if I use my headset microphone, it would not sound. It would sound like I am talking through probably a, a garbage can. I don't know. What would it actually sound like? How about this? Ah, there we go. I just had it set to default. That's why. Yeah, that sounds really bad. Jesus. Yeah. Remind me to not use my headset microphone. It sounded like I was in like a public toilet. The people are posting the latest ARRR, which let me show the ARRR again real quick with the latest one. So this is the 00Z ARRR, which shows basically a full-on ratio, which just a quick thing, guys. The ARRR is a hourly mile that changes a lot. So this is the 12Z Monday, which I mean, you see a lot of convection. So this is what it shows for Monday tomorrow on 18Z. If we go to 00Z, the ratio. If we go to let's say 19Z, which I mean doesn't go that far ahead. Let's go 23Z, which is starting to show that the frames from the current 00 run. If we go to 12Z, which I don't know how much that's gonna really show Monday, but even on 12Z, it's not really showing that. Eh, Which once again, guys, that's one reason why you kind of compare different model runs to see how much what's changed and kind of judge from there, along with what kind of things like like your convective and like your cape and all that kind of stuff. And they have to take count with your forecast models having bias as well, because forecast models do have biases. Like some models can be colder, some models can be a lot hotter. Like in a winter, the Canadian model, which is the I think GEPS or something like that, and it forecast is really cold compared to every other model. The one thing that however, the Canadian model is good at, surprisingly, is cloud cover. That is the one thing that it is good for. I don't know what else specifically I don't. That's the one model I don't use too often compared to every other model, but tomorrow could be another significant day. I'll keep you guys updated tomorrow as well. And you guys will see when I go live, of course. But yeah, anyways, I'll keep you guys updated on all that kind of stuff tomorrow and during the stream and before the stream. I don't know if we'll really see a ratio because once again the HRRR is going like it's going ham mode on the latest run. A lot of Sphere Dust warning going on, Jesus. Also got another Sphere Dust warning down here. Ping pong size hail, 50, not 50 mile per hour wind, 60 mile per hour wind gust. We got another Sphere Dust warning all the way up here in Montana for 6 mile per hour winds as well. And there is another example of what not to do. There is people parking underneath the overpass. This video is going for an hour and 3 minutes as well. This is moving east at 10 miles per hour. That is slow. Like that is slow. That is actually that's probably the average running pace. For I don't know if that's well maybe for non-athletes. I don't know. A lot of rain, a lot of lightning. Once again, this is on Storm Order Media Stream. Let me just link. I'll link that again. Link it a few times. See the back over there. Kind of interesting. So a lot more reports coming on here over in near St. Paul area. Quite a few flash flood reports out over here. Yeah, I think for the most part, if we do see anything else severe for through tonight, it'll probably be mainly a wind threat for the most part, just across the entire area. This from here, over here in South Dakota and in Minnesota. Although we do have this one cell that's producing hail threat and wind threat with ping pong size hail. So don't know if we'll get any hail reports from over here, but still damaging hail over there. All right, guys. I think this is gonna be a good place to leave off to for tonight. Storm should, other than maybe a couple brief tornadoes, if anything does happen with the tornado threat tonight, but I think for the most part it should be just mainly wind and hail. If we do see anything severe, we do have one severe this morning south of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Well, south of the Twin Cities area. So that is gonna be mainly wind hail threat there. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next stream, which could potentially be tomorrow. I'll keep you guys updated, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there, everyone.